Hello, my beautiful souls. How are you this evening? We are Tuesday, my Tuesday live. I just want to make sure that you can see me. Let's see if I can do something about this. Is that a little bit better? Hopefully it is. If you're joining me live, say hello. We are talking about, are you afraid to succeed? What a topic that is. What a topic that is. I actually encountered this type of fear for many, many years, which has stopped me from experiencing higher timelines, right? I was so afraid. I wasn't sure what it was about. I didn't know what this fear was until I started peeling back the layers. And I discovered that it was this fear to succeed. Now, a lot of women who I work with have this same fear, but they just don't know that it's a fear of success. They don't know until they start working with me, and then we start going into the depths of their being, because when you work with me, we don't do surface stuff. I don't do fluff work. I go deep. I go as deep and as far as you're willing to go, so that you can start living higher timelines, so that you can start living out your soul purpose, so that you can start revealing your soul gifts. First of all, connect with them or reconnect with them, trust them, and then start revealing them to the world. Okay. So if you're new to my world, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to know when I am coming on live. Every Tuesday, I am here for sure at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can also find me on Instagram. So just take a look at my description and you will see my link. So I would love to see you there as well. And if you think that anyone would benefit from this video, then please share. I would appreciate it. So let's talk about this fear, because I know that you have this soul calling. I know that there's something within you that desires more, that wants to experience, that wants to be, to have more. And you're most likely, like I used to be, the type of woman who will look at other women who are rocking it, right? They are just showing up in all of their authenticity, in all of their essence, and you envy them. You envy them. And then for just a split second, you envy them. But then afterwards, you start giving all of the reasons why it can't happen for you. I don't have enough time. I'm a mom of two. I work full time. I don't have support. I'm a single mom. I'm a homeschooling mom, right? You know what I mean? It's like you will start saying, I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have that. And so we make up a list, a mental list of all the reasons why it's just not possible for us to live this extraordinary life where we're feeling aligned and fulfilled, and this sense of liberation where we're just living the life that the way we want to live it, right? And we all want to leave this lifetime knowing that we created an impact in some way, whether it is within our family, within our community, across the globe. It doesn't matter, but we all want to exit this lifetime knowing that we made a difference, that we created an impact, that we created a ripple effect, right? And if you resonate with the terms of a light worker, light leader, way shower, visionary, creatives, right? You'll understand what I mean. It's like you have this inner niggle, you have this feeling inside of you that you came here for a reason. You came here to do something, but you're just not sure exactly what that looks like. Maybe you have a slight idea, but still you're like walking in the fog a bit. You're not too sure what that really feels like and what that looks like. And you're most likely in a situation where you're feeling depleted, you're feeling confused, you're feeling frustrated. It's like you're at this crossroads and you don't know whether to turn left or to turn right or to just stay put or take a step back. It's like you have no idea what to do next. Or you can be in this other situation where you know what you want to do. You know where you want to go. You know what it is that you want to experience. It's like you want to start up that podcast because you know that just by expressing your message and sharing it to the world, you know it's going to create a deeper impact. You know that it's going to help somebody. Or maybe you want to open up an Etsy shop because you are this incredible creative and you know that your products will inspire people, will make them feel good. Or maybe you want to become a coach or a mentor or a teacher of some sort because you know that you've got so much to give. You've got so much to offer. You have so much to share because you've been through so much and you've overcome so much. And you know that you can help somebody. Even if it's just one person, you know that you can help that person overcome their own challenges and obstacles. It's like you have already this vision of what it could look like, but you're not taking any aligned action. You're not making any moves. You're stagnating. You're idling. And we are not made to idle. As humans, we are made of energy first. We're energetic beings, and energy moves all the time. And when we stop ourselves from taking that next step for a while, if you've been waiting for months and years, the universe is going to start sending you more and more reasons to move. And at the beginning, the universe is going to be kind and gentle. But if you don't listen, if you choose, because we all have free will, if you choose to stay put, to stay where you're feeling miserable, you're feeling limited, you're feeling boxed in, if you choose to stay in that space, the universe is going to push you a little harder. And that's when you start feeling really uncomfortable, right? You're starting to feel like you're in a pressure cooker. It's not fun. It's the discomfort. You hate it. And what's really ironic is that many of us stop ourselves from experiencing the discomfort, right? The unknowing, which is uncomfortable for a lot of us. We're stopping ourselves from taking that first step, from making that move because we don't want to feel that discomfort yet. We choose to remain in a situation where we're not feeling comfortable at all. We're feeling complete discomfort. Isn't it ironic that we do that? It's this illusion. Can you see? It's like this illusion that we buy into. But it's like, well, the discomfort that I'm in right now, it's familiar. So a lot of us will choose that discomfort. It's like, yeah, it's an old pair of shoes and there's holes in it and my feet hurt and all that, but I know the hurt and I know the feeling, so I'm going to stay with that. Right? Does that resonate? I'd love to know in the comments. So in order for us to move forward, right, to take that aligned action, there needs to be a switch. There needs to be an up leveling. I'm trying to find the right word, but it's like there needs to be a transition. Something needs to shift. Okay. And the shift is that your desire, this soul calling that you have, this inner desire needs to amplify, right? It needs to become so big that your fear of moving forward, of becoming successful is smaller. Right? It's like this soul calling, this desire needs to amplify. It needs to become so much more than the fear to succeed. And I want to dive into this fear of success because a lot of women do not even fathom the idea that that's what's holding them back, right? This is a shadow that you will discover as you are doing the inner work. And in my world, this is how we peel back the layers. This is what we do. We get to the core I'm a Heart's Desire 7. And the 7 is all about taking deep dives, right? It's all about deep diving. It's not fluff work. It's about unlocking the mysteries of the universe, unlocking the mysteries of you. Okay. And that's why I'm the deciphering queen when it comes to numerology, because I use intuitive numerology to crack the code on you, right? I teach numerology in a way where you learn how to crack the code on yourself, where you learn about all of your numerical coding. And on top of that, you learn how to decipher, right? I teach you how to decipher, how to get to know yourself on a soul level, so that when adversity comes, right, or when challenges come, then you'll know what to do because you crack the code on yourself. You know yourself so well that you become unshakable. You are capable of overcoming whatever it is that's presenting to you, because challenges will always show up, but it's how you navigate them that changes. Okay, they don't feel like a big mountain, right? They don't feel like an impossible feat. It's not the same. Once you really know yourself, once you're anchored into your sense of self, then all of these challenges will not scare you off. Okay, so let's talk about this fear of success, because I've been through it and I still go through it, because every time I am asked to up level, I am asked to get uncomfortable, right? You cannot evolve and you cannot ascend and expand in your comfort zone. You can't do it. It's not by sitting on the couch and watching Netflix or scrolling on social media all the time that you are going to experience higher timelines, where you're going to experience this sense of fulfillment, this abundance, the joy, the bliss, the feeling that you're making an impact, that you're sharing your soul gifts, right? So this fear of success, what happens with it, and let's dismantle it. Okay, so think about, I want to give you this type of a vision. This is how I work, right? I'm very visual. So see yourself as a bird, okay? Whatever type of bird you want to be. I tend to think that I'm an eagle. And so see yourself either like on a branch, or you could be like on the edge of a cliff, whatever. You're about to spread your wings and soar, okay? Now, the first storyline that I want to bring you through is, imagine yourself as this bird, and just as you're about to jump off either the cliff or the branch, you only open up one wing. Okay? And you go for it. You jump off, you soar. Now, you're not going to crash down per se because you have one wing out. What's going to happen though is that you're going to take a bit of flight, but of course you're going to start spinning around and around because you only have, one wing. It's a bit like if you're always rowing on the same side of the boat. You're just going to keep going around in circles, right? And so this is what happens to a lot of women. They have this idea, they have this inner niggle, they have this soul calling, and it's like, yes, yes, you know what, I'm going to become a coach, or yes, I'm going to become a healer. Yes, I have these psychic abilities and I want to offer readings. I'm doing it. I'm going for it. I'm doing it. One wing up though. Just one wing up. And then they circle and they circle. Now, they start experiencing a few things because they jumped off the cliff or they jumped off the branch, right? So they are able to explore a bit, and they were able to maybe, do a little bit of readings, or maybe they were able to connect with some people and do some healing, or maybe they were able to do a couple of recordings on their podcast, or maybe they bought all the equipment. I know some women that do this. They buy all of the equipment. They buy the massage table, they buy the crystals, they buy the oils, they buy the podcast material, they buy everything. It's like they're ready. They have their business cards, they have their website up, they have everything. It's like, okay, let's go. And then what happens with that bird with just that one wing open, right? It lands, and then it just It just stays there. It can only explore a certain amount of ground. Do you understand? A certain amount of landscape. Now, and then you keep going around and around in circles, right? You can go up again on that branch or on that cliff, and you start up again. It's like, and it's the same shit, different pile, right? You can maybe go on the other side of the tree or the other side of the cliff, but still, you're not going to be able to soar as high as you're meant to soar until you open up both wings. And when you open up both wings, can you imagine the height and the distance and all of the landscape that you are experiencing, all the newness, all the new things? It's the unknown. And that's what most women are afraid of. And the unknown, when I say unknown, it's very vast. So let's dive into the unknown, because I've been through it. And one of the times that it really, really stopped me from soaring was when I was in a relationship. I was in a 7-year marriage with a narcissist, and he and I were just no longer resonating with one another. I had went to see a therapist for over a year. I was working on myself, and I came to a point where I knew if I was going to continue with this therapist, I was going to have to leave my husband at the time. I knew it. I instinctively knew it. I knew it. But so what did I do? I was afraid. I was just soaring with one wing open. And so I did go and explore a bit, right? But not enough to soar to my highest potential, whatever that was at that time, right? Because it's ascension is like an upward spiral, right? And so I stopped going to see my therapist. And what happened was I stayed with him. I stayed with him for another year. It took me a full year. And finally, it got so uncomfortable. Remember, I was talking about the discomfort? I was talking about how uncomfortable things can be, but we choose to stay in that discomfort because it's familiar. Well, it got to the point where it was so uncomfortable that there was a choice that I needed to make. The universe made it so uncomfortable that I had to do something. So what did I do? I spread both wings and I flew and I soared. And I was able to sever ties with this relationship. And after I left him, my life just transformed. I was suffering from these rashes on my neck when I was with him. I was having migraines. I was having upset stomach. I wasn't sleeping right. I was so stressed out. And the day that I ended that relationship, everything stopped. Everything stopped. I was having financial problems when I was with him. It's like there were so many things. Everything just changed. It shifted. It transformed. That's just an example of what happens when you choose to spread out both wings and to fly. Now, to dive into a little bit of numerology wizardry, if you are a divine life path 20, a life path 30, or divine life path, life path 3 or divine life path 30. If you are a life path 4, if you're a life path 6 or 33, 6, and if you're a life path 11, that's a master number. 33 and 11 are master numbers. If you are a life path number 11, if you're one of these, you are going to be most affected by this fear of success. Because what happens is that, especially for the life path 4 and 6, you are so connected to being the responsible one, family, right? It is so important to you that to soar means that there might be a separation, that you might feel like there's a separation. Now, most of the time it's just an illusion. But when you start soaring, you are no longer showing up as the person that you used to show up. And that can create discomfort in the household or with your colleagues or even with your clients. And so for all of these life paths that I've mentioned, and it could be for others too, it's just that those come up most. I'm not saying that the other life paths are not touched by this, okay? But in my experience, these are the ones. And so what happens is that when we start feeling that disconnection, it scares us. We don't want to feel disconnected by those who we love and those who we lead. We want to feel that closeness. This is one of the reasons why we all incarnated on this planet, is to connect with one another. And when we start feeling that disconnection, that separation, it makes us very, very uncomfortable. And so what do? We bring down one wing. We're like, oh, we went too fast. We went too far, especially if we have our loved ones or colleagues that start reacting, and they start making us feel guilty, right? They start making us feel like we are no longer there for them. We start feeling like we are being selfish. And so we bring one wing down, if not both. I've seen a lot of women just bring both wings down and say, forget it. It's too hard. It's too difficult. But then that inner niggle never leaves. And so they continue living in this space of what if? What if I could have just done that? I wish. And then they have, this envy when they see other women just going for it. Right? There's so many things that come with this fear of success. There's the judgment too. Like, who does she think she is? I know her. I knew her back in high school. I knew her back in college. You should have seen her. And now look at her. Look at her trying to be this and that, So there's the fear of judgment, the fear of this separation, the fear of being rejected, right? With judgment, there's rejection. And so we all fall into these traps of forget it. Being successful is going to ask me to sacrifice some things. Maybe some relationships will end or they'll change. Maybe I'll have to deal with some criticism. Maybe I'll have to stand up for myself. Maybe I'll have to put in more solid personal boundaries. Okay? That's what's behind all of these, this fear of success. That is what is behind all of these other fears, right? A lot of women say, no, I want to succeed. I really do. But if you really did, then you would do it, right? It's because this fear of success brings up all of these other fears, these like sub fears of being judged, of, failing relationships, of rejection, all this stuff, separation. And that's why a lot of women will end up not even soaring with both wings, and which is a huge, it's such a shame, because you came here for a reason. If you have this soul calling, this feeling within you, it's because you're meant to experience it, because it wouldn't be within you. It wouldn't be inside of you if it wasn't meant for you to experience it. You know what I mean? If it weren't in your heart, then it wouldn't be for you to experience it. You'd be feeling something else, but you're not. You have this feeling, this soul calling, this inner niggle to be, to want, to have more, to experience more, to create an impact, to make a difference, to create transformation in other people's lives. Whether it is in your family or your community or the entire planet, but it's there for a reason. And it's so important for you to honor it. We are in a universal year 6, and the 6 is all about higher vision. It's about aligning to our destiny. So these feelings that you have within you, they're not your imagination. This is not a hallucination or an imagination. It's not just wishful thinking. You're feeling this because you're supposed to experience it. And that's what I love to do. I love to help women experience a deep soul remembrance through my readings and through my coaching. And if this is something that is pulling at your heartstrings, if you feel like, yes, you know what, I do feel like I'm supposed to be doing something more, something different, and I'm not sure what it is, or I think I know what it is, but for some reason, I'm just not making the move, and I want to because I can no longer stay in the space that I'm in right now. If that is you, I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to sit with you and to share all of your numerical codes with you, your soul's blueprint, so that you can have that deep sense of self, so that you can start feeling unshakable, so that you will have this North Star, this compass, right, in your back pocket, where you can be like, okay, this is how I usually act, or this is what I'm meant to do. These are my soul gifts. This is the landscape I came here to explore, and these are my shadows. And now I know how to alchemize them into light, so that I can move forward, so that I can live a life of fulfillment, of self-liberation, where I can go to bed feeling so happy, so joyful, so at peace, so that I can wake up in the morning and feel so excited because I love what I do. I love who I am. I love how I show up, and I am not afraid to soar with both wings out. Right? So your deep sense of self is the only way that you're going to be able to overcome this fear, because the more you know why you came here, the more you have this solid confirmation that you're not hallucinating, you're not imagining this is not just a far-fetched dream, the more you can understand this and believe this, the easier it's going to be for you to spread both wings out, because you are going to feel this desire much more than the fear. Much more than the fear. And you deserve to live this abundant, fulfilling, joyful, blissful life. And we deserve to be touched by your magic, because you see, you're the only one that can share this magic. You're the only one that has the ingredients in this magic potion. I don't, and the neighbor doesn't, and your loved ones don't. It is you. You're the only one that can touch us the way that you do with your magic. But if you are staying stagnant, if you are remaining boxed in or closed up or in a limited state, then you're not able to share your electromagnetic signature with all of us. And right now, we need for you to come online. We need for you to come out of the shadows. We are all going through a massive awakening. There's this huge shift that is going on right now. And I know that you know. I know that you know. But you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to stay stuck. There are people out there that can help you and guide you and support you. And I am one of them. So if you are feeling like you'd like to have a conversation, or you're ready to get a reading, or you want to dive into coaching with me, then I would love for you to contact me. You can look in the description of my channel. All of my links are there. You can find me on IG, Julie Sasha Cloutier. You can also find me on Facebook. I do have my business page there. It's Julie Sasha Cloutier / Divine Femme. Okay. So you don't need to go through this alone. You are meant to live an abundant, fulfilling, joyful life. And we are meant to be touched by your magic. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, don't forget to subscribe. And if you feel like someone you know could benefit from this conversation, then please share it. It would mean the world to me. And on that, I'm sending you all so much love and so much light. Ciao for now.